Hello, I'm State Senator Joan Lovely, and I am honored to offer you congratulations on your graduation. To the staff and teachers at North Shore Recovery High School, thank you for your dedication and support to these amazing students. To the parents and family members, thank you for loving your graduate for who they are and who they will become. And most importantly, to the graduates, I want to congratulate each and every one of you on this well-earned accomplishment. Reaching this milestone is a testament to your hard work and the incredible support offered by this school. Each of you has a unique story, and no two stories are the same. Each story has had obstacles, and each story has had triumphs. And each and every one of you has worked hard to earn your place at this graduation. Today may not look the way you thought it would, and I know that the last few months have brought new burdens and some challenges, but I truly believe that each of you has the skills you need to move forward. I wish you all the brightest of futures and continued successes in all that you do. You've earned your place here today. Congratulations, class of 2020. Be safe and stay well.
Good evening, parents, guardians, family members, district personnel, supportive health and safety workers, legislators, North Shore Recovery High School staff, and most importantly, the students of the graduating class of 2020. What can I say? You know, we've had to deal with a lot during the past 4 years, some of us 5 years of high school, but this seriously takes the cake. A pandemic at the same time as an opiate epidemic? Really? This is not how any of us thought you would be graduating this year. However, I am the queen of trying to find a silver lining. Since you have been through so much in your short years, I feel as though you are most equipped, more than any other student in any other high school, to get through this transition successfully and head into your future plans. We have watched you fight your demons with very little armor and come out on top. Your family, your friends, and many of my staff have fought right next to you. We saw you when you never thought you would make it out alive. We held your hands, we whispered words of encouragement. Well, actually, we screamed them because Lord knows you don't like to listen to us. We wiped your tears, we cried with you, we hugged you so tightly because we didn't know if you were going to make it. We hung on to every shred of hope. We jumped in the fight, and we fought like hell to get you here to this day. There are so many reasons I stand here today as one of the proudest principals in the entire country, in the entire world, in the entire universe. Many of you have been with us for many years, and some of you have just arrived this year, and we're beginning to become part of our community at Recovery High before the world shut down 10 weeks ago. No matter how long you have been with us, you are here with us today, and we are grateful to have been part of your journey. You took one of the bravest steps in your journey by coming to North Shore Recovery High School, by trying to save your life and change your future. You attended your core classes with Michaela and Ellen and Mary Ellen and Jonah and listened to your very wise and sometimes sarcastic teachers. You attended your daily groups with Paul and Chad and the interns and had to face some sobering emotions with your peers. You had to find ways to distract yourself and learn coping strategies to sustain you when your addiction was winning, by finding art and music and yoga with Jake, Devin, and Tara. You were gently nudged to find your way to these destinations by building trusting relationships with our support staff, Angel, Patrick, and Becca. And you hung out in the main office with Anna, begging for snacks and trying to avoid class completely, horrifying her with all of your stories. And finally, you believe you're going to get through this and have a future. And you started to trust that Maureen will hold your hand to get there. And she will continue to do this forever. On this day, I humbly stand before you. This is no typical graduation, and you are not typical graduates. Please know my staff and I are in complete awe of you. We have fought to get you out of jail and to keep you out of jail. For some of you, which shall remain unnamed, is nothing short of a Herculean task. Many of you have nearly died in my office. Literally, I had to Narcan you and beg you not to leave us, and watch you as you finally found your will to live. We watched as you found your voices and you sang beautiful songs, sometimes very loudly. You wrote words that you never knew you had in you. You became a learner. You were on the honor roll for the first time for many of you in your entire lives. You played music, you created art, and you spoke openly about your struggles with the hopes of saving others.
Congratulations, class of 2020. I am so proud of all of you. You have all come such a long way, and I'm so happy for you all, and I hope to see how far you go in the future. Keep up the good work, guys.
Congratulations to each and every one of you on your graduation. I understand that you'll receive your official diploma on June 10th. I wanted to take a moment and acknowledge each and every one of you. You inspire me. I am deeply touched by how you move through your challenging times and addictions to show up for yourself. It has been miraculous. I know that the transition can be challenging and exciting as well as scary. Your next step, just don't give up on yourself. And RHS, and I'm here for you in any way. I dearly missed not seeing you towards the end of the school year because of the pandemic experience. Take good care of yourself, and just remember, you're amazing. You're a walking, talking miracle. Take good care.
You crawled out of your former selves and found the beauty of recovery. I have no magical words that will protect you from the pain of the real world. I know that you deserve what Joey fondly calls smooth sailing. I wish you all an abundance of peace, the ability to forgive others, and the ability, most of all, to forgive yourselves. I wish you the ability to know when to reach out and ask for help, and finally, actually accept it. I want you to let your lights shine so brightly that everyone around you can feel your warmth. And I wish you the gift of smooth sailing recovery journey. Let this commencement start with a blessing from Dale, one of our dear friends at the Second Congregational Church.
Welcome to Second Church. We are honored to be able to host your graduation ceremony this year. Not exactly the way we had planned, but that's 2020 for you. So I'd like to begin with a blessing. May God give you the grace to make wise choices and to be faithful to your commitments, always confident in the support of those who love you. May you be discomforted at easy answers, half-truths, and superficial relationships, so that you will live deep within your heart. May you be angry at injustice, oppression, and exploitation of people, so that you will work for justice, equality, and peace. May you shed tears for those who suffer from pain, rejection, starvation, and war, so that you will reach out your hand to comfort them and change their pain into joy. May God bless you with the foolishness to think that you can make a difference in the world, so that you will do the things which others tell you cannot be done. May your integrity be a gift to the world, and may the Spirit of God be with you always. Amen.
Graduates and families, this is certainly not what we expected graduation day to look like. In addition to all of the other challenges you have faced, you can now say that you graduated high school in the midst of a pandemic. I hope that you won't let the remote nature of this commencement ceremony detract from the magnitude of your accomplishments. You did it. You are here. You had the bravery and perseverance to complete your high school education while dealing with all of the other struggles and barriers in your life. Bravo. As you go forward in an uncertain world, know that you are more than the sum of the challenges that brought you to Recovery High School. You are learners and artists, musicians and athletes. You are strong and loving and capable. There are moments of joy and greatness in your future that none of us can even imagine. So, on behalf of North Shore Education Consortium, I am honored to officially state that you have met all of the requirements of this program, your school district, and the state of Massachusetts. Congratulations.
I would like to welcome the North Shore Recovery High School graduation ceremony for the class of 2020. I grieve with you that we cannot have a typical graduation, Nancy, but I assure you that my staff and I have made every accommodation possible to make this a safe and memorable one. I would like to present Nancy Maritza Corona to the graduating class of 2020. I don't know why I'm crying. I just don't know. I love you. I would also like to offer something that you have not heard about. I would like to award the Next Step Scholarship in the amount of $500 to Nancy Corona. This scholarship was established by a donor who would like to remain anonymous. He wanted to grant these scholarships to students who are in need and have demonstrated a willingness to work hard to achieve their goals. This incredibly generous person did not know much about Recovery High School or any of you, but admired your journey enough to set up this scholarship and will continue to offer this as long as he is able. I am extremely grateful for people such as this and that renew my faith in the human race. Thank you for your generosity, Anonymous.
Hi, I'm Mary Ellen, science teacher at Recovery High School. I'm very happy I get to help introduce Nancy as she accepts her high school diploma. Nancy has gone from being sure she would never make it at Recovery High School to being the girl who helps others settle in and feel the love. To quote her guidance counselor, Maureen, Nancy is an amazing team builder and she fosters a sense of fellowship at Recovery High School. Even though I didn't get to teach Nancy this year, I saw her most mornings during our first period when she would stop in to give her friends the first hugs of the school day. Nancy gives the best hugs. This is because she genuinely loves people. Love just oozes out of her. We see it in her smile. We see it in her excitement. I spent many lunch and prep periods chatting with Nancy. She is open and loves to talk things out, which is an important skill to possess when trying to ride out these difficult teenage years. In one of these instances, after talking things out, she had applied for a job and was nervous about her past employer and the reference she would get. She overcame the fear. She put aside her nervousness. She called that past employer and discussed the reference. Nancy has made great strides like this and is maturing into a strong young woman. Her growth is amazing. She has tapped into her strength to work on her recovery and her mental health. When she knew she was struggling this year, she sought out the help of Recovery High School staff and was willing to accept the help and support that she needed. She serves as a role model for her peers, and they know she is there for them when they need her. Nancy, as you go forward into this adult world, please always remember that you are a beautiful soul. You are smart, loving, kind. You are worthy of the beautiful things you dream of. And never let anybody make you think differently. Hold out for the best as you chase your dreams. And here's Devin.
Nance, my turn. Ready? Nancy and I have been spilling the tea since the spring of 2018. You might wonder what this means, as did I when I first heard her use that term. Spilling the tea can mean anything from boy trouble to relapse. During that first year with Nancy, we had a standing first block appointment. She would be waiting at her designated table by my desk, already starting on her artwork for the day, and it was meant to be just us. No one else was allowed to disturb Devon therapy. Seeing Nancy's smiling face every morning was just the thing I needed to start my day. And because she has a unique way of phrasing things, she never failed to make me laugh. I admire that she genuinely strived to fix the tough issues in her life that were troubling her. She was open to hearing my thoughts and often came back to tell me that she had acted on my advice. Nancy is a natural caregiver and wants others to feel loved and safe. I also need to mention that Nancy is a fabulous artist. She has developed her own artistic style, which I would describe as methodical, trippy art. It's quite unique. Only Nancy knows why the seemingly random objects she chose to include on a piece should be put together. We may have stared at her in bewilderment as she was working, but when the piece was finished, it was magical. And to think, when Nancy first came to us, she was having some anxiety about starting at RHS and contemplating going back to her old school. I am grateful for her decision to stay because she has not only benefited from our support, but in return has freely given that love and support right back to her peers, friends, and staff at RHS. I am thankful for Nancy because she has shown me that my work at RHS wasn't done. I was immersed in grief about the loss of one of our students when I first met her, but Nancy tugged at my sleeves and made me realize that I was still needed. Nancy, I am so proud of you for how you've blossomed during your time with us, and I already miss you. Congratulations, and I love you.
Hi, I'm grateful for everyone that's here, and I'm going to give my speech. I remember the moment like it was yesterday. I was crying in the group room, begging Michelle to help me transfer back to my old school. But 2 years later, here I am. I stuck around. I came to Recovery High School in the spring of 2018. My first impression was that there were definitely cliques, but for some reason, everyone introduced themselves to me. At first, I was shy and cautious. My friend was Devon, my art teacher. I spent a lot of time in her room, pouring my heart out, having a laugh. It was my safe space. Devon would kick everyone out when I needed her, and she would always protect me. Gradually, I expanded my territory. I also claimed the English room and the science room to myself. Staying at Recovery High School was one of the best decisions I've made. I went from being the girl who gets D's and F's, who is too scared to stand up and do a presentation, to getting A's and B's. At Recovery High School, I made honor roll. I was even able to read my own poems out loud. That was one of my proudest moments. In my old school, I wasn't looked at as the girl who teachers would take a chance on. I was the girl who got pushed aside. Teachers and staff at Recovery High School seen all sides of me, and they still stuck around. They loved me when I was happy, when I was depressed, and when I was angry. I learned some things that are important to me in life. Family doesn't always have to be related. Recovery High School staff has been more of a family than my relatives have. They have been through my ups and downs, and we just get closer. From them, I learned that if someone really loves you, they will stick by you, even if they see. Sorry, guys, I'm nervous. I'd like to thank all of the wonderful staff of Recovery High School for not just being my teachers, but also becoming my family. I want to thank my sister Mariana. Whether we are on talking terms or not, she saved my life. Finding your own sister overdosing and getting help takes courage.
and for that I'm grateful. I am so grateful for my little sister Layla and Elisa. They don't know what's going on with me, but they give me a sense of purpose and love. They make me want to become a better person. I want to thank my abuelito for being a changed man. He has become supportive and understanding of my struggles. Most of all, I want to thank my beautiful mother for becoming so understanding about my drug addiction and being caring and loving. He managed to be there for me and build a strong relationship with me. I love you, Mommy. Okay, I'm done, guys. Thank you.
This seems so weird because I would totally be hugging you right now. But congratulations, Nancy. I'm really proud of you. Welcome to the North Shore Recovery High School graduation ceremony for the class of 2020. I grieve with you that we cannot have a typical graduation, but I assure you that my staff and I have made every accommodation possible to make this a safe and memorable one. Juan, it's so great to have you here today. I do want to congratulate Mr. Juan Freitas. We have had you now for 4 years, and it is just my pleasure and honor to be able to see you here with us today. So I'm going to step down and let Chad and Jake say their speeches, and then you're going to say yours, okay? His speech is up there, right there.
Thank you so much. Mine's right there. All right. Good afternoon. I'm Chad Gaetano. I'm the recovery counselor at RHS. What can I say about my buddy Juan? He's the type of guy who likes to wander around because he's the wanderer. Yeah, he's the wanderer. No, seriously, I followed him around the halls for 3 years. Self-improvement is important and patience is a virtue, and I can't thank Juan enough for helping me with my own self-improvement. All joking aside, Juan is a very caring young man. He can often be found in the halls, as mentioned above, consoling a distressed or grieving peer. Juan has had to overcome a lot of obstacles since moving to the States from Brazil when he was 10 years old, making new friends, learning a new culture, overcoming the language barrier, and adjusting to a dramatic change in climate. When I first met Juan, I asked him what he thought of New England weather when he got here. I think he said he cried when he got off the plane. I teach PE at RHS, and Juan would play basketball inside with jeans and a sweatshirt on. Clearly, he's still getting used to the weather in this part of the world. Who isn't? Juan and I had a few moments during PE class, which is part of sports and competition. I believe athletics can be a great tool for teaching, and Juan is a perfect example of this. He was able to learn how to control his emotions and allowed himself to be coached. Although he may not realize it, he was taking steps toward today and learning valuable skills to learn in life. Congratulations, Juan. I'm gonna miss you, buddy.
All right, Juan. All right, I also have a few words to say about Juan. I'm Jake, the music teacher at RHS. So, Juan Freitas, he's a trendsetter, a social unifier, and a motivated recording artist. He's been a driving force during his time at RHS. When I joined RHS team last year, I immediately noticed that everyone at RHS follows cues from Juan, whether it's on some catchy sayings, like that beat slaps, or this food is smacking, or his music tastes. Everyone's digging the hardcore trap music, or even his bold clothing style, or as Juan calls it, drip. Yeah. So all of these things have combined to help set the tone for RHS's kind of vibrant social fabric we have going on. In addition to being a stylistic icon among his peers, Juan also has always maintained an open mind and attitude towards just about everyone. He served as a type of social unifier at RHS. And as I mentioned, I recently started at RHS last year, and Juan was one of the first people to welcome me and get right into some creative songwriting and recording projects in the studio. So I appreciate that about you, Juan. Many of the collaborations and aspiring rappers that have graced the RHS studio started with Juan setting an example through his actions, or with Juan directly encouraging his peers to get in the booth and give rapping or singing a try. Another thing I really greatly admire about Juan. So I'm grateful to be here today to celebrate Juan's vital contribution to RHS family, and I know that his presence will be deeply missed. Yet I'm excited to see what the future holds in Juan's next venture. One thing is for sure though, Juan will continue to be an electric personality that shows love to everyone he meets, and he will continue to bless the world with his refined musical taste and expertise. So big congrats, Juan.
I want to thank all my teachers and staff at Recovery High School for helping me to get through school and making me like school again. I really want to leave the school, and I love it so much, and I love being around my second family. I want to thank my family, especially my mom, my grandmother, and my beautiful girlfriend for helping me become a better person and pushing me to get through school. Thank you.
Hey, Connor. Welcome to the North Shore Recovery High School graduation ceremony for the class of 2020. So first of all, I want to say congratulations to Connor James Haast, class of 2020. And second of all, I'd like to award the Next Step Scholarship in the amount of $500 to Connor Haas. This scholarship was established by a donor who would like to remain anonymous, but he wanted to grant scholarships to students who are most in need and have demonstrated a willingness to work hard and achieve their goals, which you totally have. This incredibly generous person did not know much about Recovery High School or any of you, but he admired your journey enough to set up this scholarship and will continue to do this as long as he is able. So I just want to say congratulations on your scholarship.
Connor, when people look at you, I do not think they really see you. Some people see an athlete, some people see a rich kid from Linfield, some people see a handsome dude. Some thought they saw a thug or a player. What they could not see was how much you were struggling. A year ago, people would have counted you out. They would have given up on you and thought you were never going to amount to anything, let alone graduate from high school. You probably believed them. You needed help and you came back to RHS because you knew we would help you. I think you knew that we could see the light that shines in you, and maybe, just maybe, we could teach you to see it for yourself. You are one of the kindest, gentlest souls I have ever met. You are loyal and fair. I have been blown away by how welcoming and kind you have been to your fellow students. You reach out to kids who have shut us out, and they listen to you. The streets have given you the wisdom they need. When we return to school, I will miss you coming by my office and leaving your keys in my desk drawer. I will miss your sweatshirt hanging over the chair in my room. You'll be missed by all at RHS, but we must let you go because the world needs you. Your life is just beginning, Connor. I hope you let more people in and you share your light with the world.
So I'm a sucker for a good redemption story. In the fall of 2017, I met a 16-year-old kid who was built smooth, who was built like a grizzly bear and accompanied by a faint whiff of animosity. I was careful not to alienate him, but our first breakthrough came when he had a boo-boo and required an ice pack, which I was only too happy to fetch for him. Pretty soon we drank tea together and wrote poetry. Actually, it was one poem, and I have a picture of Connor sipping tea while also flashing what I suspect may have been a gang sign. At the risk of mortifying him, I will read the final stanza of his poem, Cold. I don't know where I'm going, always on the edge, 'cause you never know what's going to happen. All I want is a plan. I know right from wrong, but I'm stuck on the wrong stuff. Life was pretty dark for Connor for a couple of years, but then a number of miracles happened. A supportive girlfriend, puppies, and most importantly, recovery. From the cocoon of the sullen youth emerged Mr. Congeniality, adorned with a man bun and bubbling over with helpful advice. He is like Miss Abby, but faster and with bad words. On multiple occasions, I have simply sat back in awe and watched Connor talk his peers out of spectacularly absurd decisions. Listen to me, my dude, he'd start. I hear ya. And then he'd unleash a flurry of guidelines, hints, and opinions, while periodically soliciting agreement, know what I'm saying? And bestowing positive affirmations. You're a good kid, I know that about you, you're a good kid. It worked like a charm every single time. Connor, I need you to teach me your ways so I can become a better human. I feel privileged to have witnessed your transformation, and I will continue to cheer for you. Love you lots, my fella.
My name's Connor Hawes, and I'm almost 2 years clean. Proud to be I'm proud to be graduating today. A little over 2 years ago, I overdosed and almost died, and that was one of the major moments when I realized I needed to make an attempt at sobriety. I knew that this was going to be hard for me to do, but I was going to have to challenge myself in many ways. While I was getting sober, I would put myself in the same environment I used to be in, but challenge myself not to fall back into my old behaviors. It got to a point when I saw drugs, they actually made me sick. When you're doing drugs, you're damaging yourself. You're not ever thinking about other people. Getting clean was horrible and took a while, but I stand here today clean thanks to the help and support of many different people. First off, I need to thank the school and all the staff. Throughout the years I've been at Recovery High, the place became a family to me. My girlfriend was by my side through it all, and she is a major reason I'm clean today. Without her, it may have never happened. Also, I wanted to thank my entire family. My mother and my father stuck with me through everything. My nan and my pops were always by my side, calling every day for the past few years. I'm especially grateful that they were waking me up early in the morning, making sure I'm on track and on schedule. Appreciate everyone who's been by my side throughout my life. Thank you guys. Appreciate all you guys. Finally made it. Can't believe it, but you want to welcome me?
Next few days to give you a real one, okay?
All good.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I wish I could give you more.
I know. Welcome to the North Shore Recovery High School graduation ceremony for the class of 2020. First of all, I want to tell you, Alex, that I would like to award the Next Step Scholarship in the amount of $500 to Miss Alexandra Howard. This scholarship was established by a donor who would like to remain anonymous. He wanted to grant these scholarships to students who are in need and have demonstrated a willingness to work hard and achieve their goals. So he didn't know much about Recovery High School or any of you, but he admired your journey enough to set up this scholarship, and he will continue to do so as long as he is able. So I want to say congratulations on your scholarship. And then second of all, I'm going to let the ceremony begin, but I want to say congratulations to Alexandria Catherine Howard.
All right. So anyone who knows Alex will tell you that she is kind and generous, which is, of course, very true. But she is also courageous and she is a fighter, both for herself and for those she cares about. Over the years, I've had the privilege of watching Alex show up for herself and push herself again and again to become the strong and thoughtful woman we celebrate here today. She is strong, she is resilient, she is compassionate. She is also one of the people most likely to make me laugh in the middle of class by making a hilariously inappropriate comment. Alex, know that you have made every class of mine just that much better simply by being present and being you. I will miss accidentally slacking on my other students because you and I have been sucked into a really great discussion about world events. So don't ever stop trying to learn more and understand better, as these qualities will serve you well. In you, I see so much grit, intelligence, and creativity that I am truly excited to see what your future holds for you. And as you journey on, consider these words from former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Always aim high, work hard, and care deeply about what you believe in. And when you stumble, keep faith. And when you're knocked down, get right back up and never listen to anyone who says you can't or shouldn't go on. Congratulations.
This is really hard because I hate saying goodbye to you. So I'm about to make it through this one. So Alex, boy, we've been through a lot. You've become like a daughter to me. And I honestly spend more time with you than I actually do my own daughter. I make you cookies and I cook for you. And I promise I'll bring you some next week. What kind? Oatmeal chocolate chip. So I want to thank you for your trust. I want to thank you for your love. And I want to thank you for your courage. I have watched you grow from a scared little teenage girl into a confident young woman. And I wish I could bottle the resilience you have shown through all the storms that you've had to weather, sweetheart. Many other children would have succumbed to these storms, but man, you just keep on fighting, even to this day. You have so many endearing qualities. One of my favorites, just as Jonas said, is your kindness to others. You would literally give someone the shirt off your back if you thought it would ease their pain, because I have seen this time and time again. If it weren't for you, many of your classmates would not have gone to treatment. They would not have listened to us, and they would not be in recovery today. You often do this at your own expense, though, sweetheart. And this is my caution for you. Protect yourself. Protect your recovery. I hope that you see the beauty that you possess, both inside and out. I look forward to staying in your life forever and ever, to infinity and beyond, and to keep reminding you that you are worthy of all the beauty that life has to offer. I love you, Alex.
Where's my speech? Can I use my phone?
I can't see. Okay.
Thank you.
Just a few years ago, if someone had told me that I would be standing here to graduating from high school, I wouldn't have believed it. I always tried my hardest, but my hardest usually didn't get me anywhere, until I came to Recovery High School. They showed me that I can succeed. These past few years haven't been easy on me. I lost friends, I almost lost my mother, and I almost lost myself. I desperately wanted to show everyone and myself that I can succeed, and I finally did. A few years ago during summer school, I saw all my staff in action. I thought to myself, all the staff here are like superheroes. They all have their own unique power to help students. The staff at my Recovery High School are something else. They really know how to help people. I never thought that people just wanted to help others for nothing in return. I suspected that people just wanted to get something out of it. But these people just want to see us succeed. I'm truly blessed to have these humans in my life. And I'm so sad that I won't be going to school here anymore. I will miss all the staff. This isn't just a school, it's a family. I've created so many memories here that I won't forget, and I bet no one else will either. The school gave me a new life, and it shaped me into a new person. I'm grateful for all the experiences, and I love you all. Thank you all for the support and for always having my back. I love you. I also want to thank my mom for being here and always being there for me. I love you. Thank you.
Zach, woohoo! So I do want to congratulate Zachary, Ryan, Isaac, class of 2020. And also, before I begin, it is my privilege to present the Robert Gass Scholarship Award to Zach for $500. Bob was executive director of North Shore Education Consortium when the Recovery High School started and is a huge supporter of this school. When Bob retired, he started this scholarship each year so we could recognize students who show emerging leadership skills, a commitment to their recovery, and a commitment to continuing education and helping others. Zach's teachers chose him as this year's recipient of the Robert Gass Scholarship.
Hello, everybody. Since this is a unique graduation, I've decided to throw caution to the wind and use Zach's astrological sign to begin my speech. Zach is a Gemini. If you look up the traits of Geminis online, you'll find the following description. Geminis have two different personalities in one, and you will never be sure which one you will face. As the events of this past year will attest, Zach is one of these people. He can be the kindest of souls, easygoing, and good nature. Then he can get angry and do unspeakable damage to his fingers and the bureau of his bedroom. As a student, sometimes he shows up to class ready to learn, and sometimes not so much. He comes across as quiet and reserved, but then eats the hottest hot sauce at the Topsfield Fair because another student dared him to do so and put on quite a spectacle for everybody. One thing that has remained constant is his hardworking nature. Throughout all last year and up until the shutdown, Zach has held 1, sometimes 2, and even 3 part-time jobs, picking up work wherever he could get hours. I'm sure the memories of working the 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. shift at the UPS before the start of the school day will not soon be forgotten. Zach, I speak for most of my colleagues when I say that we will miss you visiting our office and classrooms to give us a hug and tell us how much you care about us. Personally, I have enjoyed hanging out and getting to know you, especially learning about the Micmac tribe and Jackman, Maine. I hope you keep hiking and playing the guitar. There is a whole big world out there waiting for you to roll up in your new car, your four-wheeler, or your snowmobile and start exploring. Hope you enjoyed the journey.
boobs aren't talking. Zach. This kid, my buddy Zach, what a pain in the butt. But he's my pain in the butt, and I love him so much. He is stubborn and does not like to take instruction. He likes to do things himself. I got this, he says. I know what I'm doing, Dev. And he gets to work without any help from me, although I do attempt to hover over him. Then, without fail, we spend the next class discussing things like why his birdhouse looks like the birdhouse version of an unfinished, decrepit haunted house. Zach's way of learning. He loves to use his hands and fix things. What I have also observed about Zach is that even though stubborn, he is usually willing to discuss tough topics and will now take a look at an alternative view. His awareness has developed greatly during his time at RHS. Keep that mind cracked open, Zach. I've spent a lot of time with Zach in art class, at Express Yourself, as his transportation home this past year, and as a competitive ping pong opponent. We have nurtured a connection that I will value highly. As Zach goes off into the world, I hope to keep in touch, mostly to continue to remind him that I am way better than him at ping pong. Congratulations, Zach. I will certainly miss you. Love you.
A few months ago, my English teacher asked me to write about the 20 dumbest decisions I have ever made in my life. That was pretty easy. I have made so many dumb decisions. Do I want to skip class today? Should I refuse to save money and spend it as soon as I get it? How about I throw a stink bomb in the middle of math class? Sorry, Ellen. As you can see, I have made some silly decisions during the past couple of years, but I have also grown a lot. In my 3 years at Recovery High School, I have learned how to get along with people I don't like and how to respect my teachers. Each staff has taught me at least one good life lesson too. They showed me how to make school easier and pushed me to complete assignments so I could graduate on time. My principal, Michelle, she has taught me to become a leader and influence my friends to make better decisions. My guidance counselor, Maureen, was always there to listen to me, and she helped me decide what I want to do in my future. My English teacher, Michaela, has taught me how to write better and to be kind to others. Ellen helped me become a skilled card player and was always delighted with me, even when she had no reason to be. Mary Ellen let me take care of her fish, and she taught me how to create a really good project. Jonah taught me to appreciate current events and got me more interested in what's going on in our society today. Devin and I always had good times. Express Yourself, playing with Franklin. Chad was always trying to get me to act more maturely, and finally I listened. Paul taught me how to take a joke without getting offended, and Anna came to see me at work a couple of times and listened to me when I needed a vent. My buddy Angel, he always looked out for me. Tara's yoga class was a highlight of my days. She taught me to relax. Pat and Becca showed me the importance of being able to talk to anyone and be given good advice. I will miss the staff at RHS, especially my bus driver of 3 years, Damon. He is a great guy who has given me a lot of good advice and helped me pick a trade school to go to after high school. Everybody from RHS makes school fun and enjoyable. I will go back there every now and again as they are one of the biggest reasons I will be so successful in life. But the main reason that I will be successful is my parents. Without my mom, I wouldn't have had help with getting a car, and I wouldn't have all of the opportunities I have today. And if I didn't have my dad in my life, I wouldn't be interested in all the cool things he and I did when I was growing up. My stepdad, Sean, he has always helped me influence my mom to get us cool stuff that we both enjoy. My sister, Taylor, has always been a very important part of my life, and I love her very much. I will always be grateful for my family and everybody I met from Recovery High School. and I appreciate everybody from the church for making our graduation happen. Thank you to all of the people who helped me through my journey of high school in any kind of way.
An honor to work with you and to watch you grow up. And I hope that we can have a proper graduation in person. But until then, congratulations.
Thank you so
I love you. All right. Yay. So, do you want your family to come up and take pictures with you? Want family to come up and take pictures with you? So, first of all, I would like to congratulate Amber Rose Murch in the graduating class of 2020. It's so good to see you. I'm so proud of you. Little surprise for you today. I would like to award the Next Step Scholarship in the amount of $1,000 to Amber Rose Murch. The scholarship was established by a donor who would like to remain anonymous, and he wanted to grant these scholarships to students who are most in need and have demonstrated a willingness to work hard to achieve their goals. This incredibly generous person did not know much about Recovery High School or any of you, but he admired your journey enough to set up this scholarship and will continue as long as is possible. I want to say that staff and I unanimously chose you as the recipient of the scholarship.
Amber, it's nice to see you. All right, so a lot can be said about Amber, but most of all, Amber, out of all the students, is really someone who embodies self-reliance and transformation. For me, that's what I think of when I think of Amber. You know, from the seemingly shy and soft-spoken young woman who first walked through RHS's doors, to the headlining rap artist who performed multiple original songs live on stage at Cambridge's Sonia Theater, it has been an absolute privilege to witness Amber's unique vision and the personal drive that fuels the excellence that she continually pursues. I knew it was a real good sign when, while visiting with her mom, Amber, actually, and her mom immediately hopped into a jam session with us. So right off the bat, I was like, okay, I think this new student is going to be a big part of the music program. But I had no idea that Amber would actually quickly become the most prolific songwriter, producer, performer, and recording artist that Recovery High School has. Amber, pound for pound, put in more studio time, more work in the booth, more songs written than any students that I've worked with. So that type of dedication is testament to her drive. You know, not only in music, but also while excelling in her major course studies, holding down part-time jobs outside of school, keeping a busy social life. Amber has consistently made time to record songs in the studio, sometimes 2-3 songs a day at that rate. So Amber, or as her fans know her, Lo Rose, she also never missed out on a performance opportunity, and for that, I am truly grateful. And whether we were performing in Boston for the RHS benefit concert, interviewing with Channel 5 News in the after school, in the classroom, practicing on stage at Beverly's historic Cabot Theater, or filming a music video on stage at RHS in our cafeteria, Amber was always there and fully dedicated to each project. And so today we are gathered to recognize Amber's penchant for hard work and dedication, and to congratulate her on achieving a major milestone of graduating high school. So let's just give a big round, because yeah, I know I can speak for the whole RHS team in saying that we will greatly miss you and your inspiring presence and motivation. And we are really proud of the strong, talented, and brilliant individual you have become.
Okay, Amber, it's my turn. So, Amber, this is not a typical graduation, so I'm going to give you some not so typical advice. Most students try to wipe their experience with the MCAS from their memory and never think of it again. However, Amber, I would advise you to remember it for the rest of your life. What you need to remember is how hard you tried and that you never gave up. Marianne, our science teacher, said that you worked harder than any other student she has ever had to pass that test, and you did a great job, if you remember. When you remember high school, I hope you remember how much you have learned and how much you have grown. Remember that day you stood outside with one of the other students and talked out your conflict instead of running away from it? Do you remember that? Remember all the times you supported other students and tried to help them by being a good friend, even when that was hard to do? Remember all the times you stood up for yourself? You found your voice. You wrote your songs. You got up on stage and performed them in front of a live audience in a club in Cambridge. You have constantly surprised and astonished all of us. You pushed past the boundaries of your comfort zone and you made your world bigger. As you start school in the fall at Northern Essex in their music technology program, remember how far you have come and how much you have accomplished. I have no doubt that you will continue to surprise people as they watch you grow.
I started going to Recovery High School in November of 2018 when I was 17. When I was younger, I thought I had to be this character who was mean and disrespectful, someone who didn't care about anything. I thought I needed to be someone I wasn't. I smoked a lot of weed back then, which was bad because I wasn't thinking about the consequences of my use. I didn't eat enough. I had bad grades because I skipped classes at my old school all the time, and my focusing issues got worse. Then a couple of my friends showed me the trailer of the Recovery High School documentary. I thought it looked like a really cool school and a supportive school to go to. I asked my mother if I could enroll. She said no at first because I wasn't on hard drugs, but my friends and I convinced her. I went on a tour of the school with my mom, and she actually felt comfortable with me going there. I was happy that I never got to see all the negativity at my school ever again. Ever since I've come to RHS, I've seen a lot of things that changed me. I saw people supporting each other, but I also saw people struggling with sobriety and even losing their lives. Living through this made me a better person. I no longer think that I have to become someone I'm not because I understand the importance of true friendship and the dangers of addiction. I smoke less weed now, and I try to focus as much as I can. I went from all D's at my old school to earning high honors at RHS. The word recovery can also mean that I recovered from being a bad student and from hiding my true self. I even recovered from smoking nicotine. I'm happy for all my friends who are on hard drugs and had bad grades who are now graduating clean and recovered from everything. I love Recovery High School. I want to thank all the people who have been there for me since I was 17. I am now 19 and doing as well as I ever had. My mom is proud of me because she knows where I was and appreciates where I am now. Thank you, Recovery High School.
Congratulations, my darling. You're graduated, and I would love to give you a big hug, but I can't. Congratulations to Kayla Narboni and the graduating class of North Shore Recovery High School 2020. there's a scholarship for you, Kayla. I met with Karen and Frank Raffa a few years ago, not long after their beloved son Frankie had passed away from an overdose. They were grief-stricken, yet through their grief, they wanted to make a difference in the lives of young people who were struggling with addiction. The Raffas and their family and friends have donated over $50,000 to the school by holding annual fundraisers, along with participating in community efforts of service. Much of our music and art program has been funded and sustained with these funds. They have established a $500 scholarship in Frankie's name. They would like it to award it to a person who has shown significant progress in their academics and in their recovery. Someone who would like to pursue higher education in the field of addiction or mental health. This year, this award goes to Kayla Narbonne. Kayla has been on the honor roll almost every semester. She has been with us despite some of her major setbacks. She is brilliant and determined to beat this and come out on top. Congratulations.
So Kayla Narbonne enrolled in our school almost 2 years ago and went off to treatment the very next day. So I first got to know Kayla through the math homework that she would send back and forth from the Cushing house. She did a month's worth of work in 1 week, and then she sent messages asking for extra credit work. And it wasn't just math. Kayla routinely was on our honor roll and is the only RHS student ever to earn all A's in all of her classes while in treatment. It's amazing. I know, right? This is who Kayla Narbonne is: determined, tenacious, formidable. She doesn't know what it means to give up. She's a survivor, and she has had to survive more than her share of traumatic experiences. Kayla's first block during her senior year was in my classroom, so I often got to see her and her sister Gina check in with each other for the first time that day. It was great to watch her love for her sister shining through Kayla's beautiful face. Her capacity for love has not been harmed by trauma. If anything, it's been intensified. But my favorite thing about Kayla is her charismatic personality. I just love talking with her, and I'm not alone. She's smart, witty, interesting, and persuasive. Kayla is so poised and confident, she could talk to anybody about anything. So Kayla, you've got a lot to work with. You've got resilience, you've got charisma, and you've got love. You've endured a lot, but here you are, graduating from high school and taking the next step on the path toward your adult life. I know much of your life this far has been a struggle, and more than anything, what I hope for you is that your life will become easier. Congratulations, darling.
All right, so Kayla, it's so beautiful to see you here. I could speak forever about the impact you have made on my life personally. I have never seen a young woman with such fierceness. Sometimes this backfired on us, because with the fire comes the flames, and good Lord, you showed us some flames. But even though you have the fire, you never intentionally burned anyone. Your tough exterior no longer fools me, Kayla. I have to admit, I may have hidden in my office a few times in the beginning, but I quickly learned that when you needed to be heard, you just needed to make sure that you were heard. This was simply a coping strategy, and you learned it, and it suited you well. Oh, and we all learned to hear you. And not only did we hear you, we all fell madly in love with you, Kayla. I can't tell you how many times at staff meetings we silently prayed for you to come back to us when you needed to get help. All I have to say, if there was a contest for how many times a student actually overdosed in my office, you may have won. Thank you for coming to school and trusting me with your life and whatever was in your pocketbook. Kayla, here are some things I need you to know. Similar to what Ellen said, you are smarter than you think you are, and you know you're pretty damn smart. You are kinder than you will ever let anyone know. I have seen you quietly, when no one is looking, support your peers in countless ways. And you are worthy of a life of recovery. I am hopeful you are beginning to see this. I know you are. I will always be your high school principal, but more importantly, I will always be family. I'm just a text away. Don't ever lose my number. I love you.
I am grateful to be alive. I am grateful for my trauma that once brought me down, but also helped me recognize myself. The person I will become will continue to work on becoming. Every situation I come across makes me stronger. I no longer am the naive little girl I used to be. On some days, I am grateful for a simple "Hi, how are you?" It means a lot to me, even if my response is not genuine. I am grateful for being sober. For once in my life, I don't feel hopeless. I am finding myself more each day. Sobriety never meant anything to me. Each relapse just became another excuse to lie and hide all my emotions and actions. Sorry. I no longer have to hide anything. I no longer have to lie to myself or anyone else. I am working on myself. Using is no longer a priority. I am proud of myself. I have accepted the changes I have made in my life. Others may not notice, but I work in silence. Sorry. My experiences, negative and positive, are what I am most grateful for. I wouldn't be who I am had my life been perfect. A perfect life seems unreasonable to me. Even if I could start over, I wouldn't want to.
To be able to be your principal and to give this to you. Kayla Narbonne, you are graduated.
Thank you.
Welcome, Curtis Nelson, the 2020 graduate of North Shore Recovery High School.
Hi, I'm Paul, the adjustment counselor, and I was lucky enough to speak for Curtis. And when I was trying to think about what to say, it actually came together very quickly. Due to the fact that just every once in a while, you meet someone who you just like immediately. You're not really sure why, can't really explain it right away, but something makes you feel comfortable when you talk to them. Is it like how they dress, or is it how they are articulate when they speak? Is it what they say, or is it maybe their insight and kindness? In Curtis's case, it's all of the above. He presents as a polite, intelligent young man with a sense of humor, fairness, and a lot of respect for others. From day one, Curtis reminded me of a past student whom I miss dearly, and just in the way he listens and the thoughtful way in which he can carry an intelligent conversation. His maturity well exceeds his age, and you can see the leadership potential that he possesses. I was lucky enough to have Curtis as a member of my daily groups that I run. I could always count on him being present and being the voice of reason. He always saw both sides of the issue and would often mediate discussions to make sure everyone in the group felt supported. We all look forward to seeing Curtis every day, just to see how many zippers he had on his clothes, or to see the latest fashion drip, as he called it. He was not afraid to be himself, which I thoroughly respect, which allowed his emerging confidence to peek through his somewhat guarded adolescent shell. His unique style of dress, positive attitude, and empathy shone through the halls of RHS. I'm going to miss his style and his presence. To me, there'll be a void without Curtis. But on the bright side, the world is gaining a positive member of society, and I look forward to hearing about the great things that Curtis will do as a high school graduate. Thank you, Curtis. Thank you for being you. Please remember, RHS will always be available whenever you want to reach out. Congratulations, Curtis.
I think my speech is here too. Yeah. No, this is Paul Ferrali. Oh, here it is. Curtis. Well, Curtis, you know that you're my favorite student, but what you probably don't know is that we have a draft for how we pick who gets to speak for you, and so 3 people picked you as number 1. So I actually wasn't supposed to speak for you. Mary Ellen won, so I was crestfallen because you're my favorite. But now Mary Ellen couldn't come today, so I'm going to read Mary Ellen's speech. But no kid that I wish I'd written it. Okay. Paul has introduced you well, Curtis, but there is one thing I want to add. As you go through life, never lose your swagger. Some of the staff were quick to point out your finest qualities. Maureen, our guidance counselor, says, Curtis introduces me to all the latest words, like drip. When she looked up the word in the Urban Dictionary, this is what she found. When your bling is iced out, but that shit melting from all your hot bars, you got the drip. That explains a lot, right? Ellen, our math teacher, that's me, says Curtis's fashion sense is amazing. I love the spikes on his shoes. Michaela, our English teacher, says, I love Curtis's smile. It is genuine and allows me to get a glimpse of the kind, shy kid that's underneath that fiercely stylish exterior. Curtis, we are not all lucky enough to have this gift of swagger, but indeed you are the cool, calm, self-assured way you enter a room, quiet, but clearly observing, sizing everything up, the top fashion, and the sound advice you give to classmates. Your advice is wise and accepted by your peers with the respect they would offer to a sage. They respect you because they feel your kindness. Never doubt your ability to be a leader. Find your passion and believe you can do anything you put your mind to. Congratulations. Love you.
Curtis, Paul has introduced you well. But there is one thing I want to add, and this is it. As you go through life, never lose your swagger. Some of the staff were quick to point out your finest qualities. Maureen, our guidance counselor, says, Curtis introduces me to all the latest words, like drip. When she looked up the word in the Urban Dictionary, this is what she found. When your bling is iced out, but that shit melting from all your hot bars, you got the drip. Ellen, our math teacher, says, Curtis's fashion sense is amazing. I love the spikes on his shoes. Michaela, our English teacher, says, I love Curtis's smile. It's genuine and allows me to get a glimpse of the kind, shy kid that's underneath that fiercely stylish exterior. Curtis, we are not all lucky enough to have this gift of swagger, but indeed, you are. It's the cool, calm, self-assured way you enter a room. The quiet, but clearly observing, sizing everything up. The top fashion. And the sound advice you give to your classmates. Your advice is wise, and it's accepted by your peers with the respect one would offer a sage. They respect you because they feel your kindness. Never doubt your ability to be a leader. Find your passion and believe you can do anything you put your mind to. Congratulations, Curtis, on earning your high school diploma. Yay!
Sorry, I'm a little nervous. During my time at Recovery High School, I've experienced some of the best and worst times in my life. But ultimately, RHS saved my life. Without my friends and staff support, I don't think I'd be able to get out of the hole I was once in. I've learned so many things about my health and my addiction, and I am grateful I got the opportunity to learn these things with a circle of people, simply because we all have one thing in common, which is addiction. I've also learned other things during my short year with you guys. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned to acknowledge my flaws and became willing to fix them. I would like to thank some of the people who helped me tremendously through my short but memorable time with you guys, my RHS family. I'd first like to thank my parents for dealing with me during all those times I could have done better. I want to thank Michelle, Paul, and the rest of the staff for welcoming me with opening arms, even when I wasn't always trying my best, and always checking up on me, making sure I was staying on my stuff. Lastly, I'd like to thank some of my friends who made it a lot easier. Thank you, Nick, Juan, Ellie, Michaela, Connor, and everybody else that I didn't mention. In this speech, I would just like to show genuine appreciation I have for all my peers, and I'm most definitely going to miss the times and memories we've created. I hope there will be more to be made.
Diploma, and
I would like to welcome Oliver Steuven Rutherford. No, not yet.
Hi, as you know, I'm Paul, the adjustment counselor at Recovery High School. How you doing, Ollie? Good. Very nice to see you. So, many memories ran through my head as I thought about Oliver and what I would like to say about him. I thought about how many laughs we had on the boat during our New Hampshire field trip. That was a good one. I thought about how funny he was when we recalled events and how he always enjoyed telling a good story. I thought about how well he played guitar and how he wrote original scores that he performed at RHS. During every memory of Oliver, I realized how much laughter and lightheartedness he brought to the RHS community. Oliver is one of the most enjoyable and unique individuals you'll ever meet and that I've met. His presence makes people smile and draws them in because we want to engage and get to know him. He has such charisma and such innocence that allows others to feel comfortable when they're around him. Oliver enjoys time on his own and is a deep thinker. These traits fuel his creative talents as he spends hours developing his guitar skills while he creates his original music. His creative talents seem to blossom at RHS. He was often found in the music studio jamming with Jake, our music teacher. He's a natural performer. I honestly hope to see him in a band someday on stage. Or by himself, that would work too. Oliver, with strong parental support, was able to fight through the barriers that stood in his way and threatened to slow down his goal of obtaining a high school diploma. He grabbed this difficult COVID pandemic situation, buckled down at home to complete that goal. I'm so proud of you, Oliver. You did complete that goal. Oliver's not someone we easily forget. I will not forget you, Oliver. And we will all miss his endearing personality and sense of humor. Ollie, you're forever part of the RHS family. Congratulations.
Thank you.
My name is Chad. I'm the recovery counselor at RHS. Watching students grow and experience their growth with them is one of the joys of working in the education system. After meeting Ollie, I grew fond of him quickly and we seemed to connect. When Ollie needed a break from class, you could often find him in my office or the music room. Ollie is an intelligent young man. Our conversations ranged from gnarly guitar riffs, the internet, Bitcoin, vapes. I learned a lot about vapes. Fishing, family, and really just life in general. Some days, like most of us, Ollie had had enough of school and I would take him home early. Ollie was so appreciative of every single time that he would thank me the whole way to Hamilton when I might have even told him I wouldn't do it anymore if he kept thanking me. Ollie may not have realized it, but those rides home were just as valuable as counseling sessions in my office. Oftentimes we apply one-size-fits-all methods to come up with solutions to complex issues. Logically, we know this isn't best practice, but due to time constraints, protocols, and numerous other reasons, we fall into these habits. Being able to adapt is an important life skill. Watching Ollie overcome obstacles and attend school on days that were difficult was inspiring. He was even able to advocate for himself and come up with a plan for shortened days. Now here we are today. The whole world has had to learn how to adapt. During this uncertain time, Ollie has not only remained engaged with school, but he has flourished. He has been able to complete assignments online, and it's a pleasure to have in the health and wellness video chats. Today, Ollie is graduating due to his hard work and his ability to adapt and overcome. Congratulations, Ollie. Keep shredding those guitar riffs, man. You're welcome, buddy. Plug in, baby. You gonna play?
Congratulations, guys. Let me introduce you to Joseph Peter Torsnade, graduating class of 2020, North Shore Recovery High School.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tara. I've had a fundraiser for the past 3 years to raise money for Recovery High School. I started this long before I stepped foot into RHS. I was familiar with the stories I heard about through the recovery community. Little did I know that after meeting Michelle and her coercing me to leave my job, I would become part of RHS community. I could not be more grateful for having the opportunity to work with these beautiful young people. I started a scholarship in the name of my brother, who passed away in January of 2017. So I could help relieve just a little bit of burden that these young people carry. It can be used for college, trade school, recovery training, or an opportunity to further their recovery. When I think of my brother, I smile. I smile because even in his darkest of times, all he wanted to do was make people smile. I want to give this scholarship to a student who exemplified these qualities that endeared my brother to everyone he met. I've had the pleasure of meeting Joey when I first arrived at RHS, and over the past few years, I've gotten to know him. My weekly highlight was to see what color hair he would have each week. He is resilient, compassionate, kind, and extremely talented. I've enjoyed our deep conversations, practicing yoga, seeing him perform live, and listening to his latest songs in the music room. He is also very patient. He has spent time with me trying to help me play on the piano and guitar, and let's just say I'm musically challenged. When we performed at the Wang at Express Yourself, I recall being terrified, but Joey was cool and calm and reassured me that it would be okay. Joey is not afraid of being himself, something I truly admire. He always greets each staff member with a smile, a hug, and asks how we're doing. People like Joey make the hard work we do a little easier, and I'm proud to award the Leroy Briggs Annual Scholarship to Joe Torsnade.
And yet another one. The next scholarship we would like to offer Joe is the Steve List Scholarship. For those of you who have been in our school for the past 3 years, you should know Steve well because you can't really miss him. He's the one that carries that enormous camera and has archived our lives for the entire universe for all to see in the near future. In all seriousness, though, we trusted Steve with our lives, and he did a phenomenal job protecting us from being exploited. He completely fell in love with each and every student. He enabled them, and he did all the wrong things. But as he learned about the journey of recovery, he began establishing boundaries, and he is still a work in progress. But in all seriousness, though Steve would like to set up a revolving scholarship for the next 5 years, he would like to award this $1,000 scholarship to someone who is interested in pursuing a career in the arts. This includes music, photography, film, and any type of art therapy. Thank you, Steve, for this general contribution. This year's recipient of the Steve List Scholarship is Joe Torsney.
Joey Torsney is a magical human being, sort of a cross between a wizard and an elf. A true artist, Joe makes dazzling art with his pens, with his songs, with his appearance. I loved watching his hair and clothing styles change over the years. We could always count on you to inspire us visually. Spiritually, Joey is a man of true insight. He thinks carefully about his community and his world, about where and how he fits in. Joe treats us, all of us, with respect and kindness. As I reflect about him now, I realize that it's no wonder that he is so universally loved by our entire school. Joey's commitment to his art and his community are as aspirational as they are inspirational. We could use more folks like Joe in this world. Everyone has strengths and everyone has weaknesses, and Joey is no exception, but he faces his struggles head on, and he works hard to hold on to these things that are most important to him. He's just starting out in life, but even so, he's a shining beacon of bravery, empathy, and character. Thank you, Joey, for shining your light on us. I miss you. This is the part where we should hug.
I first laid eyes on Joey Torsney 3 years ago, and I was immediately delighted. This kid was positively humming with creativity. I thought about all the splendid writing prompts that I could throw his way, which he, I fancied, would transform into timeless works of poetry and prose. Things didn't turn out quite the way I envisioned. I learned rather quickly that my role in Joey's life was not the one of a teacher, but rather the one of an eager underling who takes dictation and provides fawning feedback. Rest assured, I was completely fine with that. Joey unleashed himself to write, paint, sing, dance, compose, and be Joey, and he was and is a miracle to behold. But there came a time when the light went out in his eyes for a while, and Joey, I'm not sure if I ever told you how much my heart was hurting for you. But the day you started writing the story of a man named Junk and his horse named Dog, which contained sentences like, it's mighty hard to run with a bullet in your kneecap, I thought, thank God he's back. And so we continued, the master and his old lady disciple. Joey wrote the love story of Tourniquet, the beautiful swamp demon, and Eugene, the blind, drug-dealing orphan. And every time we sat down to work on this touching saga of agony and debauchery, I was as happy as any teacher could ever hope to be. Thank you, Joey, for enriching all our lives with your brilliance and your kindness. I will be by your side whenever you need me.
My name is Joseph Peter Torsney, and this is my speech. Only when we stand together, we get freedom from all that is negativity. To learn is to teach, because knowledge is the key to unlocking united greatness. I would like to thank all of the staff at RHS for guiding me to achieving this high school diploma that I have here before me today, or on June 10th. I would also like to thank my family for their unconditional love and support towards me at all times. Now it is up to me to continue to gain and spread more knowledge to make this world an enlightened and extraordinarily better place. My learning experience has always been an abstract one since the beginning, from Montessori schooling to Catholic to public to recovery. It has been a strange trip during which I attracted this wisdom like a sponge. With my gained intellect, I stand here now, happily satisfied with this diploma. But it's a grand scheme. I naturally won the game of high school with the help of my loyal team. And I love you all. I'm not going to thank anyone individually because everyone in this room played an honest role in my success. Knowledge is the key to life's biggest secret. The world absolutely needs more people with the love for knowledge and humanity that my family and this high school have selflessly given to me the whole way through. Thank you, and I love you.
I would like to congratulate Samuel Carmen Wallace for 2020 graduate of North Shore Recovery High School. So first of all, I'd like to award the Next Step Scholarship in the amount of $500 to Samuel Wallace. This scholarship was established by a donor who would like to remain anonymous. He wanted to grant scholarships to students who are in need and who demonstrated a willingness to work hard, and there's nobody working harder than you, and to achieve their goals. This generous person did not know much about Recovery High School or any of you, but he admired your journey to set up this scholarship and will continue to do it as long as he is able.
All right, so Sam. The difference between the mop-haired boy who darkened our door 4 years ago and the man we celebrate here today is astonishing. To have watched your maturity and growth into the man of character that you have become has been a privilege. You have fought hard to get to this moment, but while many mistakenly believe that to experience such hardships means that you are broken or flawed in some way, this is false. For these are the very things that create empathy and compassion and resilience. Indeed, the very qualities that make everyone who knows you proud to call you a friend. There's a reason that I always called you Samwise. This, of course, is the name of the fiercely loyal and intrepid Samwise Gamgee of Lord of the Rings. Samwise journeyed alongside his friends through hell and back, helping to carry their burdens, as I have watched you do so many times for the ones that you care about. As Samwise so astutely said, it's like the great stories, Mr. Frodo, the ones that really mattered. Full of darkness and danger they were, and sometimes you didn't want to know the end, because how could the end be happy? I know now folks in those stories had lots of chances of turning back, only they didn't. Sorry. Only they didn't. They kept going. Because they were holding on to something. That there's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and that is worth fighting for. Your journey to this moment is one of those great stories, Sam. Congratulations. Sorry.
Samuel Carmen Wallace. Great name, great kid. I started at Recovery High School 3 years ago, halfway through the school year, which was a challenge in itself. Relationships and routines had been established for 6 months, and here I was, starting as a new recovery counselor, the narc. Sam was one of the first students I engaged with, and here's how it went. I was asked to cover a science class for Mary Ellen. The class was small, maybe 5 students. It's hard to remember because my attention was focused on 2 students. One of our former students, Max, and Sam. I was walking around, taking in the classroom, when Max walked up to me, didn't say a word, and threw a handful of popcorn right in my face. I just stood there. I think I even cleaned it up to avoid confrontation. Shortly after that, I looked over, and Sam was lighting the sole of his sneaker on fire. I quickly stopped him and he kindly responded by calling me fake. I'm sure I had a response, but I don't remember what it was. That was my first encounter with Sam. From that moment on, we bonded. Maybe because I didn't back down, or maybe because he felt sorry for me. That interaction started a relationship. Sam and I would get into it over the years, but I could always break the tension by reminding him that I was just fake, and that one should never take advice from a fake middle-aged man. Sam is a hard worker and very loyal. Makes sense because he is a Scorpio. He cares about family and is careful when choosing his friends. He's also the type of young man to give a stranger the shirt off his back. Sam, I have told you a million times that the sky's the limit. Use that drive and ungodly teenage strength to create the life you want. Congratulations, I love you.
I might stutter a little bit. I'm nervous, all right, whatever, is what it is. Hello, friends, family, and staff members of RHS. Today is a great day, graduation day. A year ago, while sitting in a jail cell in Central Florida, jealous of the kids graduating, I didn't have much hope. In that situation, it all seemed all I could get was a GED in prison. In fact, I was facing up to 15 years, a 15-year sentence. I was praying to get a break of a 5-year sentence in prison. However, my school continued to support me, though I was in jail. The answer to my prayers, a second chance, arrived when a judge decided I'm worth another shot. Instead of prison, I got 6 years of probation. A chance to prove myself to him and the others who continued to believe in me. This important chapter in my life with RHS lasted 4 years, shaping my attitudes, bringing growth of my character in ways unforeseen. An annoying, hyperactive brat, I entered RHS at 15, clueless about the love and support soon to be shown by this community. The school, I find myself humbled, now thinking of you as family. You'd shown up in my corner even though I'd failed to recognize the value of such support. I think I'd just be another statistic if it weren't for your persistent efforts. This school got me into programs and provided counseling, talking to me and helped me find the right path. Now I've learned to live content and happy in sobriety. These staff members are truly angels, helping a very vulnerable group of teenagers using some of the most thick-skinned and loving people I've ever seen. Although a happy day, today is also a sad day. I won't be seeing my RHS family as much anymore. In the last 4 years, but it's time to move forward, to take bigger steps, becoming a productive part of a larger community now. I'm taking all these things I've learned and putting them to use. I believe that the love I've learned for this family will be like a rock to stand on. Let me say I appreciate each and every one of the staff members at this school. You have made a huge positive impact on my life that will last forever. Thank you, family, friends, loved ones. Thank you for being in my corner. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, my family. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Jill. I love you guys so much. God bless. And thanks, Steve.
Samuel Wallace.